humble yourself, because no matter how far you are into your self-improvement journey, there's always more you have to do to improve. You're never fully improved. You're never your perfect version of yourself. And you can find that out because nobody can be perfect. But the goal of self-improvement isn't to be perfect. It's to be better. Self-improvement, not self-perfection. So how do we get around this mindset? Because if we are trying to be perfect, then we will always have a feeling of inadequacy. How can we remove that feeling? How can we accept that at some point we are not going to be complete humans in the way that we would imagine our ideal idols to be? Well, the ideal human is someone who has completely improved themselves, and as we know, we can't do that. So what we can do is accept that we're always still improving, and that there is always room for improvement, and accept that we will not be perfect, and there will be times when we feel pain, suffering, and unhappy, because those are human emotions. Those are good emotions. It's your body trying to tell you something. Listen to it. Why is your body unhappy? If you're sad and you haven't been hanging out with people a lot, that's your body telling you you need more social interaction. If you feel angry and you've been interacting with a certain person more than usual, that may be a sign if your body is telling you that you need to cut that person off or reduce your time talking to them. These are just some of the things that your body may be signaling you, and it's up to you to kind of parse out its signals and discover what they mean. And that'll just come with time and a lot of listening. But this listening is something that needs to be practiced every single day, and it can be practiced with this tool like this. You need to form the habit of asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? And when you answer that question, you can't be vague. You have to be incredibly specific on every single level. So if I were to ask myself how I was feeling right now, I would say hopeful for the future, maybe a little bit lonely, and probably pretty satisfied at where I've come. You could see there's always multiple emotions. There's going to be positives and there's going to be negatives, and it's up to you to find all of them in a certain situation. Anyway, accept that you're not a perfect human being, and you'll begin to find that improving yourself actually becomes easier, because all you're trying to do is be a little bit better, not perfect. And that's a goal that we can all strive to reach. My life has felt really confused and jumbled recently. And when we feel that, we have a tendency to extrapolate that and say that our lives in general are confused and jumbled. But that's actually not true. You can have one bad day, but that doesn't mean that your life sucks. And that's something that the human mind has one of the biggest problems with, which is taking one small event and making it think that that's just how things are. And it's a good function to have in many other events. For example, if you are hunting an animal and you nearly die, then you probably don't want to use that same hunting method in the future. However, in the modern day, it can make things very confusing, because one day is different than the next. And we know that consciously, but our subconscious is still stuck in the old ape brains from hundreds of thousands of years ago. We evolve very slowly. So, what can we do? Well, we can learn to live with the day by day, and when we start checking in with our emotions more, we will begin to understand what we need to do to improve our lives. When we start receiving these signals, we can actually act on them in a way that will improve our future emotions and our future state. That's all pretty common sense. However, when you're on self-improvement, you'll begin to notice if one thing is slightly out of balance, you can start to feel like your whole life is out of balance. But if you compare that to what you felt like before, where every single day you were just going to bed and feeling terrible, you can see how much progress you've made. And these kind of checks can help to put everything into perspective and help you see that you're not lost. And other than that, when you're improving yourself, it can help to have certain sessions where you just write down your thoughts. And that's especially helpful if you're feeling distracted and confused. You want to write down your thoughts, and it'll just get it off your mind in a way that you wouldn't even think was possible.